fuck you. I do not need you in my life. This game really loved backtracking, by the way. Jesus Christ. I am not even gonna care about you guys. Adios, motherfucker. Ah! Oh, this is not fun at all. I am just gonna skip this whole area. Wow! What an experience! I want to go home. I want to go home. Ifita helvete. Dude, you were not here last time, I swear to God. Fuck off. No, that's not fair. I hit you first. I'm not keep going. That dude depletes literally my whole HP bar and that one hit. Holy. Oh. Okay, he almost crashed me. Okay, holy shit. Oh my god. This game only have one difficulty and it's hard as fuck. Okay, these guys are easy. I shouldn't waste my stamina on these fucks. God damn. I bet he only need like one more hit. And then he's dead. Yep. Dude, the sledgehammer is fucking rocks. Ow. Okay, that was not worth it. Sometimes it's not worth it. Gotta be honest. I think that's also one other thing that's frustrating about this game is that some of the fights are just ridiculously RNG. That it's a little bit frustrating. Especially when you don't know if the enemy gonna do like a swing attack or like an insta. Alright. Now, let's burn this fucker. Hey. Did it just disappear? Oh, throwable. I'm just gonna save, because I don't know if I'm gonna die from just... Am I supposed to wait? No way I was actually supposed to wait. Okay. Alright, boss fight time, I guess. You know what? I got a feeling we gotta need it again. There's no way it got introduced just for that one sequence. I wish there's a quick button to just like fucking yeet. Bang. Bang. Boom. Bang. Bang. A bow. Alright. I should have saved. I should have saved. I should have saved. I should have saved. I am dead. I am dead. This has to be a boss fight. This has to be a boss fight. Oh my god, I just realized you guys cannot see the full HP bar. Wait, next chapter? Hey, Nani? Crossroads. Eh? Oh, maybe the boss fight is in this one? I'm gonna need the rocks, but I am bringing way too much rocks. Hey, the rocks cost so much. Eh, Nani? Where do I find the key? Hey, Nani? Oh, okay, you're not supposed to go in there. Hey, Fitta! Okay.
They have destroyed it. The bridge to the north. There is only one way to the mine from here, down in the catacombs. They have been flooded, so you will need to drain them. And to the pump station.
Damn. That is very epic scenery going on there. Oh, new enemy. Oh my god. Okay, that is like half a magazine. That dude's hits fucking... That dude's tanking. If there's another one of him, I'm done. Of course there's another one of him. Alright, come here, fucker. We're gonna slow dance into moon. Oh boy. Ain't that a lot of fucking hit? 3 full swing sledgehammer to kill him. That makes it 180 to almost, I think his HP is 250. Jesus Christ. That guy is tanking like his Reinhardt. I hear a footstep. Mosh. You are just you. Alright. It's just him, that's right. Okay, never mind. Alcohol can get the fuck out. I'm gonna be completely honest though. I can see a lot of people is not gonna have a lot of fun with how this game deals with inventory and stamina. It's inhumanly frustrating. Inhumanly. Keeping yourself cooped up in the house will do you no good. You need to get out and talk to someone, go for a walk, anything. What is this message for me? This isolation will do you no good. There are people out there that care about you. There's only so much I can do. I do wish you would come back and see me. It sounds like there's a lot of going on in that head of yours. To get you back to baseline, you don't have to feel like you're trapped by your thoughts. You have to let them pass. Okay, that sounds a little bit personal. Moshi! Krusty Krab here. Okay. Another prank callers, am I right? Okay. Cannot swim. Noted. You know what this game reminded me of though? It's like trying to play Dark Souls 1 in 2022-ish. Like, I'm not trying to talk shit or anything, but this game is really suffering from a lot of game design choices, which is, I mean, I would want to say, oh no, those fuckers again. I just. Okay, I can kind of run past through them, but not really. You are carrying too much. These DDs. Big DDs. Hey, stop talking. What? Huh? Sorry, I can't hear you guys from the sound of my ass cheek. What's up, boys? How you guys doing today? And how are you doing today? Ah! Okay. And we start over from here. Holy shit, this game is really fucking me up. Hello, Krusty Krab. What can I help you? Assholes. That was way too close for comfort. Holy moly. Holy shit. Okay. Mother father. I constantly think Stalker when I see this. I can see it. I come back and hear my ass cheek. Should I ask the price? No. Has my ass cheek ever surprised you guys? No, right? So why should you be surprised in the first place? Hmm? Shibal. Ah, fuck me. This is so frustrating. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. I hit 500k points. Congratulations, sir. You've won. I'm gonna save here. Hit 500k points? Nice. Only 999. Good luck, man. Good luck. I admire your ambition. What the fuck? I hear someone behind me. For a second there. Oh no. Fitta helvete jävla fitta! Lost to a light lamp. Fuck you! I'm stuck on a tree! I'm stuck on a tree! Oh. Oh, it's you, fuck! I fucking hate you. Get the fuck out of my face. That was really, really bad. Really, really close. Oh no. Bad. Memma. Fitta helvete! Dude. I fucking hate the weight system. So fucking dumb. Bag of vitamins? Holy shit, there's vitamins in this game. Why game's so hard? Because it has old school design. Yeah. It's not that it's hard, it's just that we're adapted to the modern game design. It's a lot more convenient. Not you again, fucker. Holy shit, I one-tap him. What a pussy. I really hope I can fix this sledgehammer again if it's broken, because this weapon is fucking rocks. It really fucks everyone. It's a little bit hard, but it really hits like a fucking truck. I'm not gonna deal with you guys. Way too fucking annoying. Hey, fitta helvete. Okay, why is this nightmare permanent? Oh, never mind. Okay. Well, this is kind of... Okay. Ooh, hello. Hello, hello, sexy. Who's that bitch? Okay. Tell them what the name. I really don't know what else to drop right now. I'm gonna fucking drop this. Alcohol fucking sucks in this game. Alright. Hello. I broke my hammer. Wait. No way. Oh my god. Okay, that was real lucky. The fuck? Literally, right next to it is another wooden handle to replace the fucking broken one. God damn, okay. That was super lucky. Another fuel. So I guess the game expect me to take some fucking... burn some fucking shit. Yeah. God damn, this fucking chair sucks. Okay. Okay, we got a weapon repair kit. I'm gonna try on the meat cleaver or butcher. I wanna try this weapon. This looks fucking cool. Although it only does... okay. Damn, he's holding it like that. Okay. Hey, Fita! Oh my fucking god. Oh, are you shitting me? Okay, thank god I have that molly. That is 4 and 2 in here. I have to deal with all of that. If I don't have a molly there, I would be dead, I think. Jesus. That was really close. My eyes, I know, the blooms really suck ass in some cases in this game. Thankfully, it doesn't happen a lot. So now we just wait. I told you right for last time, I'm not taking those packages for you anymore. Every time it's the weird bags full of women's clothes and they don't even put it in discreet packaging. Huh? That doesn't happen yet. Huh? Oh, you're here. Oh, you sneaky fuck. Come here, bitch. Hoyowa! Eh? Eh? Why you regain so much HP suddenly? What the fuck? Hello? Oh, this is fun. Oh, worth. I think there's more. This might fuck me. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Go, 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 go. Okay. Whew, perfect timing, safe. Guy who's send rad Genshin breath. I mean, I mean, you and your 3 sizes. Oh boy. You actually found out who sent it to you? Nope. Until this day. But I know it's one of you guys in the chat. Because like I said, I don't really openly talks about my affection to Venti. So the fact that someone sent me a bracelet of Venti means they watch my stream. Oh, show. Hey. Guess you're not. Ah! Okay. Fair enough. Right back in. Okay. I mean, if you guys let me know what you guys want to send to me, and it's not something like super expensive or just like something that you know you're gonna, you know, fucking, you know, some stream related shit, I don't mind. How did that shit kill me last time? I don't remember you ever told address. Ah, fita! That's why I said it has to be someone's from my country as well. That's the only way you know about my address. Get fucked. Send you a capybara. You're cute, I don't mind. Send a venti bath water. Also don't mind that. Fuck! Can't believe I missed that. Mate, come here. Fitta helvete, jävla fitta. I honestly never understood people who actually bought the bath water shit. I still don't understand. I'm gonna be honest. I also have some weird addiction, but bath water, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be completely real with you. All right. Try to be shaming, but you know, for something that you can spend your money on, you gotta be a little bit more, you know, credible. Huh? What is that? Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, that's some good shit. Yeah. Okay, fine. Drop this shit. Loading? If this is not next chapter, is a boss fight. Oh no, I'm so dead. Oh no, I'm so dead. Oh no, this is not good. Oh no. What the fuck is that sound? Hello. Was this low budget EFT? It's not EFT at all. Just imagine a single player. Nah, it's some kind of a cry of fear. Yeah. Cry of fear for people who actually likes to suffer. Because this shit is punishing as fuck. Like, this game does not give a fuck about your struggles. It's a Jesus fucking Christ. You feel me? Alright, let's eat some steroids. Yum. Okay, we are officially out of long-range weapon. This is really fucky. Not fun at all. And I'm stressed out. Wait, there's nothing. It's just a pass-by. Bro. Fuck my ass, dude. This dude's tanky as fuck. Okay. I need 3 full charge sledgehammer.
It is close. Expect heavy resistance when you reach the pump station.
Heavy resistance pump station. Oh, thank God they're dumb. Alright, my eyes. Fuck you. Script. Expects heavy resistance when you reach the pump station. Oh, ammo! Let's fucking go! Alright, I'm gonna save the ammo for a boss fight, for whatever the fuck. Because I know it's coming. Alright. Never mind. No way I just got the nail box. I dropped the nail gun earlier. Fuck me in the ass. Okay, the game's really giving me a lot of shit. Shit. drop that. Did I just save? You know what? Just in case. Okay, I just autosave. This is definitely 100% a boss fight. Oh no. Alright, that's not fun. Hi, doggy. Hey, fitta helvete. Do I want to waste my ammo on this, guys? Okay, bro! Alright. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so we do have like 3 harpoon that we can just get rid of it, because we don't really have the harpoon gun here at this point. But the problem is that if in the future we do get to the point where we can find the harpoon, it'll be a shame. Feel me? So right now I'm not too sure what to get rid of in terms of like items, so I can get a better weight management. I think we're just gonna roll with it. Haven't seen them for a while. I miss these guys. They're kind of dumb, but they're pretty fucking strong. Not strong, I mean fast. As long as I can reach them one by one, fuck my ass. No way. Alright, it's Call of Duty. Come here, fucker! God damn. Huh? Is this bugged? I don't see anything. I think that's bugged. But let's just destroy our ammo real quick. Bro, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Fuck me in the ass, man. Can I save? You. No. No. Oh my god, dude. This is getting frustrating. It's getting really frustrating. I just dropped the fucking axe, wooden axe stick. And now I found the axe head. Oh my fuck. You see what I mean, chat? This is what I mean. It's so fucking frustrating, man. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what am I supposed to like fucking drop and not, man. I don't get it. Now I just don't want to drop anything. Like, fuck me. He's gonna heal. Where's the dog over here? What the dog doing? Oh, please tell me. No.
This place, it is all the same.
Fuck, I'm kinda hungry. Ooh, that's... Got a bad feeling about this. So many fucking... Oh no. Oh man. Alright, it's fun time. Eh, nani? Oh, is that the wrong way? Go, every day is the same. Whoa. Whoa. Does that mean the loot's also different? Oh. That's interesting. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I got a feeling it's not intentional. But that's cool. Because of the nature of the game not repeating the same shit. What it does, it's kind of dope. I wonder if I'm supposed to do that. Oh, you are supposed to keep looping. Every day is the same. Now the question is, what am I gonna fight after this? With all of these loots. That's kinda useless. Aha. Long hallway and dark corners. Classic game. Classic. Gotta run in 3, 2. Oh, I hear him. Oh, I hear him. Press! What the fuck, game? Oh, he's close. Ay, pita! Okay, what? Oh, one remaining? Okay, that's cheating. Okay, I'm dead. Okay, good shit, body blocks. What? So scuffed. Ah, fuck, wrong way. No, please don't! Fitta helvete jävla. Is he just gone? Nani? Eh? Well, that was a little bit anticlimactic. But okay. I forgot what I wanted to say because of the fucking jump scare. Fuck! I wanted to say something earlier. Damn it. Okay, do you guys know what I wanted to say? Sorry, I don't remember. What? Oh, okay. Just you guys. There was something, an actual fucking enemy. That's very unfortunate. Okay, nice dodge. Puta. You just stop getting stuck on the wall, man. I just want to get over this, man.
Yes, we remember, you were talking about what you gonna do with Venti on bed.
Huh? Bro, stop getting stuck on a fucking wall. God damn it, the dogs too. How many more? Okay, there's... Horror games makes me fucking hungry right now. I already ate dinner, but fuck. Ay, ay, ay. If we finish one more chapter, let's take a break from this game, yeah? And switch to something else. I'm really fucking tired. All my muscle are tenses up with this game.
Venti gang, venti gang, venti gang, venti gang, venti gang, rad wanna ride that cock year, rad wanna be stepped on year, venti gang.
Why does it sound so scuffed? I hear him. No, fucker. No, 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 no. No, no, I did not sign up for this. Oh, you fucking cocklord. 3 of you. Are you shitting my ass? Right now. Oh, you guys have nice boobs though. I'm gonna be honest. No, fuck off. Mate, fuck off, mate. Oh my god, dude, I cannot. I can't right now. I cannot. Nope. Oh! That. Next game. Holy fuck. Dude. You can safely blow them up by standing behind a wall and they're close. Yeah, well, that's a little bit too late. I'm gonna try to do that next time. Beep, beep. Okay, man. Okay. Yo, I'm really hungry. Hold up. Let me order something real quick. It's weekend anyway, so let's give ourselves some slack. Any idea what should we play for tonight, chat? I don't mind V Rising, but if you guys got any other stuff. Because I'm gonna be honest, V Rising performance is probably the one thing that really makes me kind of about streaming it. Like, playing it off stream is actually fine. But playing it on stream with OBS, my FPS is like 40. Average. 40 to 50. So it's a little bit meh to play on stream. Which is kind of a shame. Because it's a really fun game. Metal Gear. We could. Alright, let me just order some food real quick, eh? And then we'll go ham. What should I get though? I think Bar Up is close. Yeah, shit. Most of the things close right now at this hour. No. Whoa, Dolman is out. They did fix some stuff? I don't know. I don't think it's the fucking performance though. I doubt it. I'm gonna be honest. But we could give it a try. But hold up, let's check out Steam real quick. I just got a notification on my phone. Dolman is out. Social Deduction Fest? The fuck? Presented by Konami. The fuck? Is something different? A cult? The fuck? Is this another one of those fucking... Eh? Not everywhere? I guess it's because it's an indie game. I was expecting it to be new and popular. 400? Oh no, that is not a good price. Oh no, that is not a good price. Oh no. Why is it 400? It's like $35. Oh no. I was expecting it to be at least maximum 20 bucks. This is like 35, it's almost 40. It's 400 rupiah. I'ma wait for a review then. If it's like 15 bucks or 20 bucks, I was actually about to fucking buy it right now. That sucks. Dude, stop getting new games, finish what you already have. I'm fucking bored. I'm sorry. And Total Chaos frustrated the fuck out of me, alright? That was it. When the fucking game did it to me. I heard his dog shit. It does looks kinda scuffed in some cases, but the fact that it's Souls-like, I just want to give it a try, you know? Yeah. Crap game? Crap game? Crap game? Crap game? We're talking about the same crap game? Then I don't know about that, Yua. It's not how we work here. Exactly. You're saying that as if like you're a new viewer here, Saints. Come on. You already know how it is. And raddtrap channel. I'm just gonna get some quick takoyaki. That's a snack, right? I don't know why I'm so hungry. I guess all the screaming. Oh, talking about crap game, they sold some crap stick. That's some good shit. We can try that. Oh, they got taiyaki as well. Taiyaki red bean. Ooh. I'll get that. Nice. Oh shit, I missed the link. What is this? Fallout London official gameplay? Oh, this is a mod? Overhaul mod? Okay, let's check it out. Whoa, Bethesda? Eh? Eh? Why do they put Bethesda? Eh? Oh wait, it's an update? Eh? What the fuck is Fallout London? I never heard of it. I thought it's an overhaul mod, so I was like, okay. Why is there a Bethesda logo on it?
War. War never changes.
Oh shit, they got intro and shit.
Since the dawn of man, when tribes beat each other to death over necessities, the will to power has
From a
been the
mod
driving
team.
force of mankind.
Oh. Hey,
When the
Jix.
great
Good morning.
fires of
How you
humanity's
doing?
ambition ravaged the earth, it was not our doing. For the bloodiest chapter of human history had only begun. Britain was not spared the hellfire. And London, a monument to mankind's ambition, was returned to
Ambition.
the state of nature. Those who emerged from the ashes did so from a network of underground bunkers known as Pindar stations.
Alright. If we're gonna play the game, watch the cutscene, we're gonna play the game. We're just gonna... Oh my god. Okay, this is like an overhaul mod. They even make their own fucking what the fuck? Huh? Okay. Alright, escaping the facility. Classic, classic. Let's not really watch the intro. I just want to see like how the gameplay is overall. Okay, so this is like a complete overhaul mod with its own story and its own fucking mechanics and shit, or at least like its own tweaked mechanic, because you know it's derived from the original Fallout, obviously. I'm good. Shit, man. What the fuck is that emote? So cute. What up, Neem? And hello again, boy. I used to be really excited about this type of games, but not anymore, I'm gonna be honest. Like, when New Vegas or Fallout 3 announcement and all that kind of shit, and I played the shit out of it. Like, it was so fun and shit, but then... I don't know, I guess I got tired of this kind of game.
I'm Mr. Smythe. And you?
You know?
Well, it doesn't matter who you are. Now, I'm sure you have many questions. And perhaps someday I'll answer them.
This looks pretty fucking dope though, I'm gonna be honest. A Fallout game takes place in London? Rat Shrew. Oh damn, fucking punched the shit out of that. What game are you playing? Oh, we're not playing right now. This is a trailer. Gameplay trailer. Fallout London. Oh, I'm selling games in demo. My bad. Hello. What is 1165? I don't know how to read that. Oh shit, I forgot. Hydrate, chat. Don't skip the end, it's so well done. We're close to the end. There we go, now the game starts. God damn the texture. Is Fallout 4 that old, or is just the mod is not finished yet? The texture in this game feels like it's almost a decade old. Whoa! Oh, this is dope. Whoa! Okay. Oh, this setting's nice. Oh, this looks fresh. Mine the gap. Interesting. You know what? That's actually a pretty well made. I'm gonna give it to him. Interesting. I'm kind of down to what is it going to be released? Is it anywhere close? DLC size mod for Bethesda 4 as a continuation of the base game. Wait, is this already out? Or they have their own website? Huh? Fallout 4 is from 2015. Jeez. I forgot they have Fallout 76 as a sequel. Oh no. I forgot. Oh no, what's going on with my internet? Yikes. Internet's really slowing down right now. To be completely fair, they did overall fix Fallout 76. I mean, over time, not overall. But still, like, they really lost, like, a lot of, trust when they launched that game in that state, you know? A lot of scammy shit going on, basically. Alright, let's see what this game is about. A Cult just released like an hour ago. Not really. A couple hours ago. And it's the same price as Devour. Ooh. Oh god, okay. Oh, someone's been playing a lot of Outlast. What the fuck? Psychiatric hospital. Wait, that's an update. Wait, what is this game? Huh? What do they have like a... Huh? It says the game just released like a couple days ago. Okay. I guess it was an early access. It has boop physics. Okay, now I'm considering. Let's see some gameplay. Oh, it's this game. Okay, never mind. I remember the first level. Yeah. It was a little bit scuffed. Whoa, what the fuck? That's fucked up, man. Yeah, it's kind of like Devour-ish. Didn't expect that voice. Thank you. This trailer is very honest. Oh Jesus Christ! All right, yeah, we're good. We're good with that one. We're good with that one. Wait, what is that? RPG magic. Wait, what is this? This looks cute. Nah, I would scream at that. Cerebral puzzle. Alright, this game looks cute. Let's check it out. Hey, Sunny Side Up. I've heard them. Okay, the pixel art's pretty nice. The face wobbles as she walks. That's cute. Hey, isn't that the fucking Mandrake? Okay, the pixel art is really nice. I like it. Whoa! You're a fucking wizard, Harry. Oh my god, okay. This looks fun. Oh shit. Okay. Let's put it on a wish list for now. Just give me a Stardew Valley with witches. Yeah, kind of like yeah, something like that, I guess. More piles of pixel art. Why do you hate pixel art so much? Jesus Christ. It's not a D grade. It's an art style at this point, all right? Keep up with the trend, old man. Pixel art is a fucking art style. Jelly is sticky. Oh no. How to say goodbye. Ooh. Hold up. Where's the game looks good? I didn't hate it until I started seeing 600 of them a day. Because it's accessible. There's a very popular engine called RPG Maker, you know? very cheap, very accessible, but also very versatile. It created a lot of very high-end games like IB and Yume Nikki. You know, I'm just saying. Yo, this art style is trippy. Kinda cute. Coming soon. Demo! Inbox unbox. Oh, it's the same as that game. Boo! No, I'm kidding. No. Storyteller still not out yet? This game's actually fun. Oh my god, World of Goo. That's a fucking throwback. Oh my god, I used to play the shit out of this game with my brother. Oh. Oh man. This game is a mind bender. Back in the day. What a classic. What a classic. Didn't know synesthesia existed until today. The condition? Yeah, it's a pretty interesting condition. It's pretty dope, but I don't know if it's a good time for people who actually had it though. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Jesus, there's so many puzzle games. Chat, I don't know what to play right now. Oh yeah, IB Remastered got the English support. Not really sure if I want to try it right now, but I'm down to replay the whole game again. But this is the game that I was talking about, Satan's. What I said, a masterpiece. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know about IB, right? It's really impossible to not know about IB. There's an example video. We'll check it out after this. Hold up, I wanna reminiscence. Oh man. Damn, the paintings in this game. God, I love the art style of this game. So cool. This brings back so much memory. This brings back a lot. Oh! Da, da, da. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Dun, da, 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 dun, da, 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 da. Dun, da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Ba-da-da. Oh my god, dude. Ah! Fuck. Such a throwback. I know it's such an old game, but it's such a good game. I mean, it really is such a good game. Probably one of these days I'm gonna redo that whole game. What the fuck? What are they doing? Oh, they're watching. Oh, they're watching CS:GO tournament. Dun, 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 dun. Whoa. Wait, Borderlands 3 is free on Epic Game Store. If any of you guys interested. My friend just messaged me in another group. Whoa, what the hell is this, boy? Boy just posted a new game in suggestion box. Oh, an itch.io. Oh my god, is it web-based? You arrive at a curious circus-themed exhibit. Music is playing vainly in the background. These exhibits are interactive. Explore, enjoy, and do not upset the clown. Oh no. Oh no. Shall we? Might as well. Alright, let me lower the volume. Jesus fucking Christ. Games. Welcome to the exhibit of smiles. Collect the key in each exhibit to progress. Respect each exhibit. Damage to property will not be tolerated. Remember to clean up each exhibit before you exit. In case of power outage, emergency lights can be found near the exit. Have fun and enjoy. Right. Mr. Floaty. Okay. Mr. Washi. Nice. Okay. Oh. Okay. I'm just gonna. Ah! Mr. Handy. Okay. I cannot click. Hello? Oh. Okay. Ooh, I do not like this. Misstretch. Nice. Everyone's happy. Hello, clown. Okay. Jack in the box. Ah! Alright, you got me. Haha. Hello. Ay, you fit. Ay, you fit. It's too dark to go forward. You should exit. Okay. Room cleanup. Okay. 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 I still remember. Oh. Emergency power. Ah! Okay. Oh no. Hey! Okay. I love the volume is so fucking loud. Holy fuck. Oh, I have to fuck. Industrial air pump. Oh no. Alright, Mr. Washi. Here comes the shower. It's okay, you're good. Oh my lord. Faucet out of order. Ah. Ah. Mr. No. It's not so handy anymore. No. Oh no, no, not this. No, I cannot this, dude. I don't know what I want. I'm sorry, Miss Stretch. I'm so sorry. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Miss Stretch. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Ah! Oh! Oh my god! Ah! Dude. Fuck. clown's missing. Oh. The flower. Jack in the box. Turn the handle. It's a winkle. Hey, fuck! Okay, I'll turn the handle, Oh! Okay, bye. Get me out of here, get me out of here. Bye. Ah. Bro. Why? Why, man? Why? Fuck me. Thank you. Boy, for the recommendation. Holy shit. Someone's really fucking good though, holy fuck. That scared the shit out of me. Oh, I should have saved this for tomorrow, dude. This is actually really good for Spoopy Saturday. Oh my god. Okay, chat, can we stop playing horror game for today? My mental is not ready. My mental is tired as fuck. Oh my fucking god. Ugh. Oh, dude, I'm tired of screaming, man. Oh my god. Okay. What should we play though? Hold up. Is my food almost here? Okay, it's on the way. What kind of chill game that we can play while we're at it? Ito sa... Maybe we can check out V-Rising? I guess? Not too sure, I'm gonna be honest. ちょっと待ってね。Okay, since my food's almost got here, I think we can chill out a little bit with some React Andy. Oh, fuck. Oh my god, it's really here. One sec. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Feck. Okay, food is here. I'm gonna be right back. You guys enjoy this shit.
Boa semana pra você, meu amor. No, dude. No. No! Oh! Colgando del techo, así de literal. Colgando. Il vient de faire un 360. Quel con!
Come on, Andrew, you got this, buddy.
So, my personal philosophy of rehabilitation.
Can I literally tell you guys the funniest thing ever? It's actually not funny at all.
Oh, I fucked up the volume. No. What's that? Oh no. Abby.
2019. Are you as excited as I am?
By the sounds of it, no.
Do-do-do-do-do.
I'm Jesus Christ.
Damn, okay. Aww. Oh, that hurts. Aww.
What's he whipping out? Oh. He's whipping out a G-Dog, I think. Oh, it's a G-Dog. Oh.
A Cheeto? The fuck is a Cheeto?
¿A dónde vamos, Eduardo? Vamos, vamos. El perrito se fue de casa. Oh, shit.
They're all on. There's two at the end of that hallway.
What?
Was it you?
Well, that's dumb. UJ Khaled.
It's like having real kids. Nice.
Aí tá dando problema de vazamento em todos os apartamentos. A gente vai ter que fazer toda a tubulação de novo. Olha isso aqui. Qual que é de qual aqui? Olha isso.
Is this Philippine?
Pegou a saída de emergência
I think.
e usou pra essa marmota.
What the fuck is happening? Aww.
No, I'm good.
I just got off work, so don't look up here.
Ooh. What the fuck?
No, don't fuck about with me. I was waiting for you to show you a smoking moon inside. Come on.
Rat what? Was that not Philippine? What? Huh? Oh! Must be American. Aw. Hey, good at it.
Somebody call Kanye, man.
Ah, there it goes. Aww.
I was just... He stopped.
He did stop.
Oh, he's dead. Hey! Hang in there. You got it. Anyway, it's getting late. Good night, heart. Good night. Okay. just finished my food as well. It was a very nice quick snack. Oh, fuck me. Oh, that was nice. Oh, that was nice. Oh. Oh. Okay. Wait, what? Wait, is multi versus already playable? My friend told me about it. I thought we just saw the trailer like yesterday. You gotta sign up for this. I'm good. Should I give it a try? I don't know. Cross playing it? Is it good? Is it like, you know, playable? Emailing a try? Yeah. Sorry. New games, upcoming release.
Hello and welcome to This Week on Xbox. This week we visit the world of darkness, meet a little witch, and platform with new friends.
Linked to the unification party with
I'm pretty sure we already saw some of these.
It seems that the Camarilla is in danger. I am at your disposal.
Just launched is Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song. The latest entry in the Vampire franchise is set in Boston, where a mysterious attack has put the vampires on the defensive. Use your vampire abilities to hunt for clues and let your choices determine the ending.
Alright.
Also launched this week, Dolmen is a terrifying new cosmic horror RPG. Your mission is to explore a hostile alien world and bring back samples of a crystal that allows for interactions across realities.
Whoa. And
in a surprise launch, you can now play console launch exclusive Arma Reforger in Xbox Game Preview.
It's not a console
Experience
exclusive.
Realistic Cold War combat and
You can
try
also
unique
play it.
scenarios with the all-new Game Master Curation mode.
I heard it's actually pretty shit.
Xbox Game Pass brought a whole new crop of games this week. Play Little Witch in the Woods Day 1 with Game Pass and help the charming residents of a mythical forest.
Yay! Whoa.
Also added Day 1 is Umurangi Generation Special Edition, a first-person photography sandbox. This special edition contains the full version of the game as well as all DLC and additional modes.
Never heard.
Next Farming Simulator adds even more to the impressive sim with new buildings like greenhouses and beehives.
Hell yeah, brother!
Or build a successful dino park in Jurassic World Evolution 2, now featuring new flying and marine reptiles. We're also pleased to say that Her Story and Vampire Survivors are now available with PC Game Pass, and Skate is available today with cloud gaming via EA Play.
Wait. Oh, fuck, man. Cloud gaming? Oh, fuck. I got a heart for a second. Fuck, cloud gaming. God damn it. This is not gonna be playable for me.
Plus, touch controls are added for 11 more games ready to play from the cloud today. Jump in with the Xbox app for Windows PC, Xbox Game Pass mobile app on Android devices or xbox.com/play
Not-
on your Windows PCs and
Well, gaming's
Apple
not playable
phones
for me,
and tablets.
unfortunately.
No controller needed. We can't wait for Multiverses, the 2v2 platform fighter landing soon on Xbox. The good news, you can check out the epic cast of characters in the closed alpha running now or in the open beta in July. Visit multiverses.com for all the details.
Or even if your router
And if you haven't
explodes,
heard
I
yet,
don't
Fall
know.
Guys is landing on Xbox on June 21st. You'll find
The
cross-play
lags.
and cross-progression so you can
It's
play
gonna
however
sucks.
you like and for free. Next, WRC Generations was just announced. The official
Who?
game of the World Rally Championship is kicking off October 13th and features the new hybrid models and new stages.
You wanna fight me? Bad idea.
Bad idea.
For something much darker, you don't need to look further than AI, The Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative, a neo-noir detective adventure. Pre-order now to play when it launches June 24th in North America
good.
and July 8th in Europe. In Metal Hellsinger, you'll shoot,
Oh.
dash, and perform finishers to the beat of an
Oh, this is a
original
game that I
metal
wanna try.
soundtrack, including tracks by Surge from System of a Down. We're looking forward to checking it out when it launches later this year.
Ah, okay, that's a debate. God damn it.
Microsoft Flight Simulator has added even more incredible detail to the sim. In World Update 9, Italy and Malta fly through the historic cities of Rome and Venice and experience 4 handcrafted airports and 9 new activities.
Your PC explodes. Borderlands.
And the recently launched Tiny Tina's Wonderland has new DLC. Glutton's Gamble adds a new boss fight, new loot to collect, and new environments that will show up in the endgame Chaos Chamber when unlocked.
When unlocked.
In NBA 2K22 Season 7, Return of Heroes is on. Headlined by scoring champ Joel Embiid, players who reach level 40 on
Wow.
the next-gen version will rocket through the city with the new jetpack rewards, while Xbox One players can flaunt their spirit with the NBA mascot outfit.
What the fuck
Fire
is
Act.
this?
You'll find fast-paced combat alongside a refined queue system.
I was actually pretty excited to check that game
Brand
out.
new
but
universe
it's
pack
an
for
Xbox
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl
exclusive.
just launched. Dive into the fray with 3 new characters, including Jenny Wakeman, available now, Hugh Neutron coming in summer, and Rocco landing this fall, each featuring a unique stage and alternate costume.
Jenny! The Jenny was my...
Turning to WWE
Okay.
2K22, the Most Wanted
Favorite
Pack
show.
DLC is now available. Inside, you'll find Cactus Jack and more, in addition to My Faction Evo cards for each superstar. Or escape to the great outdoors in Human Fall Flat with the
Crossfire's
new level
dog
Lumber,
shit?
available
Nice.
now on Xbox. In Minecraft, check out the Angry Birds Adventure World to save the day. And snag Red's hoodie for free in the dressing room.
Minecraft? What the fuck?
Launch into a new dimension with Overwatch's biggest stars.
Whoa!
Next, it's time to
Oh,
check
it's
out
a skin.
Overwatch Anniversary Remix Volume 2. Limited time looks are back, and there are season exclusive brawls to rock through June 7th.
It's just alternate skin. Dubai!
And in Smite, Slipknot Legends have joined the battleground of the gods.
Smite.
Check out the new skins and cosmetics, and if you're an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate member, you can get the Slipknot Starter Pass for free in the Perks Gallery. Also, World of Warships has unveiled a new campaign. Check out the Back to Belfast campaign,
Any
3
World of
arena
Warships
seasons, and
player?
Pan-European destroyers in the latest update. Finally, it's your last chance to score more with Xbox.
Oh, I misclicked. Well, I meant to skip it anyway.
This weekend, Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members can check out PGA Tour 2K21,
Wow!
State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition, and SnowRunner.
Oh shit, SnowRunner's actually
Thanks for
fun.
watching and have a great week of gaming.
Lost Legacy streams free only on Freevee.
The fuck is Freevee? Okay. I mean, some of them we already heard about. The other part is just like kind of like, it's kind of good that we, I guess. I don't know. Hey. War Thunder one, love? Oh, you prefer War Thunder than World of Warship? Wait, isn't that a different game though? Or a different type? I don't know. Isn't War Thunder is more of a World of Tanks rivalry? I don't know. I don't play both, so I actually don't know much about it. Oy, oy, oy. Oh, War Thunder is only one. Okay. Gotcha. Because whenever I see a War Thunder, someone play War Thunder, there's always the Tang one. Or at least the one that I saw. So maybe that's why. Oh, shit. Alright, the snack's so good, dude. Woo! Okay. Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Not really sure. What can we do right now? Not really. I mean, we're kind of chilling. We're kind of chilling, to be fair. No rush at all. Right. But at the same time, not really sure what we can check out. If I knew multiverses would be a playable for like right now, I would sign up for a close alpha. But since I haven't, then unfortunately, can check it out. I can check it out. Chill with your mom. Let me see. Wait one sec. All right. Don't win your mom. Don't win your mom. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. I'm kind of leaning towards some shooter right now, for some reason. Maybe it's because past 2-3 days I haven't really done any specific kind of shooter. Apex. Sepa. I like how Yua just showed up as we mentioned Apex. Alright, fine. Let's chill out with Apex. I wonder if Jake's down. I forget if he likes to play some Apex. Or Gara. Actually, I think Gara's passed out at this hour. Oi. Oi. Pogs Apex ranked? No, I don't play ranked. Actually, since I'm in bronze anyway, might as well. Since I don't really do anything else. I mean, since I don't lose anything. But I'm not gonna play it like a ranked game. I'm just gonna fucking YOLO anything. Saints, you fucking stay. You gotta witness the true goddess of shooter. The Sanguine bundle. Whoa. What the fuck? Why does it look like this? It's kind of weird. Let me warm up real quick. Good luck with Diamond and Master and Bronze and Silver lobby. Oh, the new season. Right. And I wish I can get like consistent 144 FPS in this game, like Valorant, Sag. Kind of sagging, man. Sagging big time. Big Sag. Sadga. I'll be over at 10. Alright, no worries. Say hi to him if you stop by. Not just that, most diamond players are now stuck at silver since the new ranking system is poo-poo. What do you mean? Can you elaborate? What you mean? What's happening? What's happening? Jesus Christ. Aiming downside in this game is fucking sucks. I cannot get used to it. I hate the fact that the red dot moves alongside the gun. So weird. Jesus Christ. If the score is still above 14, every kill counts as 1 point. Bronze and silver now have penalty. Oh! And you can get demoted to rank below. Interesting. I guess it's because it's really hard to... It was too easy to get a... What do you call it? To get a high rank. Oh my god. Spitfire is back? Wait, what did they do to it? Not really feeling it aiming wise in this game. Not sure why. What the fuck?
Need to protect.
Oh. What the fuck? I forgot I haven't checked out this guy. What's his ult? Whoa! 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 Destroy wall? Whoa!
I'm out of heavy ammo.
Wait, shit. Okay, dude. Oh my god, okay. It's kinda interesting. Well, what does that sound? It's like the charge just died down, or battery. Interesting. It's kind of nice. I'm not sure if it's really my type of stuff though. Get diamond before? Yeah, just got the 3 kills in rad. Not even ratting anymore. I see. Spitfire ground loot is good, but flatline ground loot is a lot more. Check out how far you can ult. Alright, we'll see. You can fly towards ally with that ult? Ooh. R301 and Rampage is now in crafting. No, not R301! Shit, man. Replace. Two times on this gun. It's really fucking rough. Wait, where's Jigs? Jigs? Wait, is he here? Jiggo! Cool. You know it's not the same as it was in this world. Huh? Huh? Okay, so I don't understand the hitbox for the melee. Okay. Oh! Okay. Okay, to be fair, that means you can use the ult as an escape. In some case. That's actually crazy. That's a long ass jump. What the fuck? Alright, you ready? Let's go. Is Gara? I think Gara's still asleep. He hasn't replied. Not good. Score want to play? Or is he chilling? Volt turned into a care package gun. Kraber doesn't want kill headshot in the head anymore. I don't use Kraber anyway. I forgot about that weapon existence. Charge rifle is still meta. I know you played not that much, but you know about sidewalk, no recoil system? Moving mouse to right and left. No? Huh? I absolutely have no idea. Buff the fuck out of Peacekeeper. Hitting legs still the same damage as hitting body. Oh my god. Okay, good to know. Also buff Rampart since I see a lot of people using Rampart. Oh shit. Rampart is kinda... I don't know. I don't really pick up that gun, to be honest. Be right back. Okay. Ready up first. No. Beach. Alright, Jigs is an Octane player. I don't know who else to play other than Octane. I only use Octane for the past couple fucking games. Should I try Newcastle? I guess we'll try Newcastle, why not? Oh wait. You know where I got this skin, guys? This is Twitch Prime, guys. Twitch Prime. That's right. If you get Twitch Prime, you get this awesome looking fucking skin. Oh my god, for free, chat. Huh? That's right, man. For free. Okay, you just use your fucking Twitch Prime and a bada bing, a bada boom. Insane, man. Insane. Wow. And I randomly got this fucking random shit. Fucking random legendary. But yeah. I wish I got this one though. This one looks fucking dope. But yeah. Twitch Prime. Check this right now for recoil. Holy fuck, 3k crafting? What does that mean?
Ever since the release of Apex, guides left, right, and center were instructing new players to go into the firing range and practice recoil by firing into a wall or a target, and then countering that exact movement to learn how to spray with no recoil in Apex Legends. This is because this works from titles we all came from, such as Valorant or CSGO, but it turns out that there's an even better way that only works in Apex. This method abuses a mechanic in the game which seems to be put in place by Respawn to make tracking moving targets more fluent, and was formerly known as jitter aiming. However, Torje found out exactly how this works and a method to have no recoil without jitter aiming, meaning that you can also do this on controller. In fact, Torje discovered both jitter aiming and recoil smoothing, and I've linked both of his videos in the description. In this video, we will be covering all of these methods and how they tie together, namely oscillation aiming, jitter aiming, and finally the recently discovered recoil smoothing. Let's start with how this works. If you stand still on fire, your recoil goes in a very predictable pattern, which can be counteracted by aiming in the opposite direction as you spray. The pattern varying in severity depending on what gun you're using,
oh my god,
and
we're in
increasing
firing
in
range,
severity
I'm done.
depending on your range. This is how recoil works in the typical first-person shooters that don't have bloom. If you are unaware, bloom is a random spread, which you typically would see in popular shooters such as Call of Duty or Fortnite. Apex skiers have been
Fortnite.
preaching this method of recoil control for a while now, but recently it was discovered that you in fact don't need to waste effort on this, and instead all you need to do is pull your aim to the side in a smooth pattern. If you do this, there's almost no recoil. I'm not pulling my mouse down in this clip, just left and right. The trick to pull this off is by smoothly moving your mouse faster than 3.74 degrees per second. This applies to literally every direction. I'm just displaying horizontal movements to really drive home how big of a difference this is, but you can use recoil smoothing up, down, left, right, and diagonally as long as you're doing smooth movement over 3.74 degrees per second. This is especially useful if you're trying to beam someone taking a zipline or a balloon. Obviously, you'll run out of a target to shoot pretty fast if you're moving your aim to the side, but this can easily be counteracted by mirroring and anti-mirroring your enemy by strafing to the sides against your mouse movement as well. If you are on mouse and keyboard, the trick is keeping a clean mouse pad and a slow sensitivity. Then try to loosen your arms as much as possible and roll a slow slide.
this is...
It doesn't take too much to get used to this technique. And it is a lot easier to pull off if you use a tracking mouse pad, lightweight mouse, and you pull your aim left or right because
I already know this one.
And stock, smoothly moving my aim against this target 120 meters away. This is me doing the same, but also smoothly pulling down to over 100 meters with the R301 iron sights. I'm thinking that the secret sauce might be smoothly tracking and smoothly pulling down for the same time working on your coordination. Once you feel
I mean, without actually knowing the thing, you know, I can already do that.
Hold your breath.
To be fair, so that's good to know though. That is actually a thing. All right, thank you for the video. Good to know. Good to know. Wait, we're dropping? What the fuck? Yeah. You know, it's not the same as it was. Hello. Oh my god! Oh. Uh-oh, this is not good. Oh! Blue!
Not the one on my back. You got a journey to the ring. Let's get moving.
I didn't know the alternators turn to shit like that. The fuck? Last time I used it, it was so fucking smooth. Where? Dead.
Busted a Buster shield. That was the last Buster in that squad. We're still in this.
Whoa, what the fuck? I didn't know that. Ooh, that's sexy. I kinda like that. Come in. Hold up. What's up, Kendo? Alright, I'm gonna revive this guy real quick. I'm not gonna like Peacemaker because of the hand animation. This is also the same reason why I don't play Gib. I don't know. I know every legend moved the same speed, but the hand animation fucks me up.
Newcastle's ultimate's ready. They're not.
You can drag him while reviving? Okay, I don't know that. The fuck? Nani? Good to know, thank you.
Heavy ammo here.
No, I'm sorry.
Extended sniper mag here. Level 3.
1 minute. The ring is far.
Alright. I'm good.
Quite far. There is not much time left. Hostile spotted.
We don't have to chase him.
I need optics for an SMG.
This legend is OP in the right hand? Yeah. With that amount of fucking shields? Yeah, 100%.
Okay, 10 seconds to reload.
Huh? Huh?
Reloaded. Took down a fool.
Where's his friend? What?
The rings will be company.
Oh! Need that. Behind. Oh. I'm just gonna. Because I want to use it. Correct?
Another fool struck down. Sending an arc star their way. Reloading. Reinforcing my Evo shield.
Huh? Oh. Wait, where's the enemy? The fuck? Oh, just a spider? Are you shitting me? I thought there was an actual enemy.
Standard stop. Evo shield here. Level 3. Get some healing.
You can turn your ult while flying. What? Okay. There's so many things you can do. Alright, we'll see, we'll see. Where? Enemy? Alright, I'm coming to you. Yo.
Target over there.
I slewed it.
Cancel. Follow me if you want to attack over there. Hostile over there.
Hostile over there.
Faster, faster, faster. Who's ready to fly on a zip line? I am. Just spotted someone out there. Target. Fire, friends. Reloading.
Oh!
Giving my
I'm trying to get in. Did he go down here? Nope.
Recharging shields.
Hey? Alright. Huh? Where did it get? Where did it? Okay. They just got away.
Reloading. They're not getting back up from that.
They're not getting back up from that.
Making contact with enemy.
Coming.
I am taking some damage.
Oh, they're down there. I got close range.
Focus up. Busting there.
Arc star. Throw an arc star.
I guess we're coming down.
Jump pad out.
What is he doing? Is he actually chasing him down?
Broke that enemy. Reloading. Grappling.
Just not my plan, but okay. Where? Ah! Wait, why am I slow? What? What the fuck? fuck was that? Ah! Stop nading me, you fucks! Nah. I'm phoenixing. Hold it just a little bit more. No! No! I should have let go, shouldn't I? Fuck, man.
Through justice, teamwork, and a big shield, I ranked
I was like one more tiny bit. Come on. I could have tapped him there. I tried, chat, I tried. Your shield skill also can deal 20 damage if you put right below enemy. You can turn your ult while flying. If you don't have a knockdown shield, team revive don't make sound. What?
We win together, or we lose together. No in between.
It's an interesting passive.
Me ain't afraid of much, but losing, that would be a drag from my point of view.
Okay. Light them up. Light these nuts.
This is your champion.
Wow, they chose me. The odds are full of all kinds of math.
All kinds of math? Huh? Oh, math. Oh, okay. I thought it, for a second I thought he said math. Like, you know, meth. Wait, what? Bro. What's up, Corey? Are you guys expecting the third person slot empty? I'm down to play for a bit. Currently it's empty, yeah. Come on in, come on in. Earlier it was usually Zgara, but I think he's asleep right now. I already chatted, but he doesn't answer. Yo, Thunder, is you, bro? This dude's probably fucking alt-tab watching some Niji Sanji videos. Are we doing a safe drop? Okay, fine.
First blood. Imagine crashing and burning on takeoff.
What is this spot? I never landed there.
Beginning ring countdown. Next ring's not close, people.
Actually, nah. Is that an enemy? That's an enemy. Alright. Oh, hello. Okay.
Setting it home. Reloading.
He is healing. He is fully healed. Oh no, this is awkward. His friend's close. Hello. No! I clicked, bro. Last one there. 2v1. Good shit.
Good night. Then, one sec. Healing up.
Thank you.
Reloading. Charging up my shields.
Gotta hop up here. Tempo.
Tempo.
New kill leader. How's that form?
Get some here. My ultimate's ready. Brace yourself.
Skirt.
We should scout this area.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 3.
It's too fucking empty, bro. Hello.
Been looking for that.
In game? Gotcha.
Champion eliminated.
There's not much people, yeah.
Targeting the next ring, people. It's sent to your maps. We're outside the ring. Move, unless you want to get farmed.
Do you see any enemies here? No, I don't think so. I'm safe. Unlooted zone.
Let's march towards this spot.
Ba-da-ba. Come on, give me some good shit. Give me some good shit, bro. Alright, not bad. Kinda shit, bro. No.
Attention. You hear that? There's a care package coming down.
Oh, it's looted. Oh no. Why did they loot the rest? The fuck? Maybe because they're still here. Hello. Anyone home? I don't think anyone's here. Hello. Oh my god, my frames. It's only got 80 FPS in this area. Sad. Also, you can stop Newcastle ult by putting your Newcastle shield skill on the place the new enemy Newcastle wanted to put the huh? Okay, that's a lot of words, but gotcha.
Looking for that.
No.
Forget it.
Hey. My shit, man. Just got a perpy there.
Backpack here, level 3.
A ring? Ring-a-ding-a-ring-a-ring? Oh, we got a fucking bill. You got ult? Madam Jetpack? Okay. This is gonna be an interesting run. Wait, I just realized I don't have a fucking stock. Oh shit, yeah. Right then. Alright. Can do the cannon, I guess. Eh? Oh, over here. Coming. Ah! Where the fuck? Oh, hello. Oh. Okay, alright.
Recharge my ego shield. Knock the one on my back. Reinforcing my evo shield.
One on you. The rest is on the left side. Yeah, you got him. Huh? How are you not dead? No, what the fuck? Okay, both of them there, One more. 2v1. Let's go. What the fuck? How did he not dead? That fucking sucks balls, man. Oh, was it healing?
Gotta hop up here. Turbocharger.
Okay.
Shield battery here.
Oh, hello. Sexy. How you doing? I don't know. Alright.
I need heavy ammo.
Well, no rush. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm full now. Shit.
We've got 1 minute, a closing ring, and we're pretty
Oh, it
darn
was
far from
a lot more OP back in the old season. Mastiff? I don't know, I never liked Mastiff because of the fucking timing. I either use fucking Eva or PK. And nothing else. The rest is just like placeholder.
Ring is pulling up in 30 seconds. My
Gosh,
ultimate's ready.
fuck the fucking timing, bruh. Oh, they're waiting.
Enemy out there.
Ooh, I hear snipey.
Ring shrinks in 10 seconds. We're close.
Delicioso. Okay, they spotted us. Oh, hello. Huh? What? Oh, huh? Okay, what? Wait, okay. Wait, where are we? I don't know what's the plan here, but I'm just gonna follow him. Sure. Uh-huh. I'm not really sure what's the plan here, but I guess trying to get into the circle. I got a perpy. I got it ready.
We got another squad. There's a clueless bogey out there. Recharging shield.
2 times might not be a fun time. Shit. Whoa, what happened?
Caustic trap.
He's still there on my ping.
Enemy over there.
They're in the center. I kind of want to go in, but... Oh! Oh boy. This is not fun. Oh, they're here. Hello. Come here, boy. Alright, ah! Alright, we're good. Okay, they're coming. A lot of them. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Oh god. Oh, there's two of them. God damn it. Okay, that 2 times was the bad idea. That was not a good idea. If I got it 1 time there, it'll be doable. Should have stick with the car. Car 98. Oh, I didn't use my fucking skill, didn't I? Here we go again. When all the rats come to one place. I mean, it's Battle Royale in general. So you kind of like get used to it. Yup. Sorry.
Follow me if you want to win.
Shit.
This one's for the kids back in Harris Valley.
Get ready. Today is not gonna be easy.
This is your champion.
Holy shit, my fucking OBS is dying.
I'll be leading the charge on this jump.
I am not dropping.
I'm the jump master.
I have no idea where to go.
Enough lambing around. We dropping.
Okay, what are these playlists? I need some fucking beats, bro. Beats by Dre. Not sponsored. Running out of space. Oh.
Round 1. Beginning room countdown.
Didn't even realize that.
We're all inside the ring.
Nice account name. Red ex-girlfriend. Okay, good one.
Havoc here.
Havoc here.
Got an extended energy mag here. Level 3.
What time is this? 2:40. We'll do like a couple games. We chill, yeah.
We should shotgun bolt here. Level 3.
Get a backpack, brother. This shit sucks ass. What the fuck?
Let's march. Light ammo here.
Ooh, one digs. Sure. Beep boop booty booty boop booty beep beep boop booty booty.
10 seconds,
Gotta
the
hop
ring's
up here.
just ahead.
Kinetic feeder.
Kinetic feeder. Jesus, this song.
That ring has started moving.
Okay, I might do a. Oh, never mind. You know what? Too much fucking.
Shield battery here.
Sometimes I wish you can just like bring fucking 3 weapons in this game. Yo, give me some shit, game.
Give me a sec.
Attention.
Did they drop like a stock up there?
Looks like a care
I think it did.
package is coming in. Big things in that. I'm crafting. Hold up now.
Did I? I did. Oh, it's only blue. I thought it fucking purple. God damn it, I'm dumb. To battle tonight. Okay, it's not really the playlist I was looking for.
Attention. There is a new kill
Okay,
leader.
there we go.
New kill leader.
Alright, I'm ready as fuck right now. But we don't see any fucking enemies.
Looking up something real nice. Give me a second.
Got an Evo shield here.
Oh, there you go.
Big thanks. No need to be so tense.
Alright, where we going? Where we going? I swear I haven't heard a single gunshots. So I'm actually not sure where to find enemies right now. Like, what the hell, bruh? Whoa! everyone just like avoiding us or some shit? What the fuck?
Take note. There's a new kill leader.
It's already have like 50% left.
Enemy over there.
Oh, gas it. Fuck 'em up.
Half the squad's left. No time to be tired.
Oh, they're pretty far. Closing in. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? I just jumped over her. Lucky bitch. Oh.
Recharge my info shooter. Not the one on my back.
Replicator incoming.
Where are you at, Mike?
Right here.
Ah, you lucky fuck. Oh my god.
Enemy killed.
Good kill.
Oh no! I missed all my shots. Ah, fuck me. He's alone. Why do I still have a